business. So let me welcome Rob Burberry from Ecommerce.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. And first of all, let me start by saying thank you and welcome. My name is Rob Burberry, and I'm the sales director for a business called Ecommerce. Now, as much as I'd like to stand here and talk to you all day about Ecommerce, I'm really excited to be able to actually introduce momentarily one of our customers, one of our clients, in fact, part of the Ecommerce family, Tiina Hovi from Finnkino. And she's going to be talking to you about how her and her team have boosted the frequency of purchases using the Ecommerce B2C Marketing Cloud. And before I introduce Tiina properly, I just want to take a step back and talk about how the relationship started. And Finnkino, similarly to Ecommerce, were a business who really wanted to deliver on the promise of marketing. And in the current landscape, where as marketeers we have many, many channels available to us to market on, and we also have a huge amount of rich and important data that we can leverage, we should really be thinking about driving truly personal one-to-one interactions. Now, for Ecommerce, our objective is quite simply to help the modern-day marketeer, specifically commerce marketeers, solve some of the challenges in getting there. And our approach, as you can see here, is by combining typically disparate technologies. So bringing together things like customer intelligence, personalized product recommendations with omni-channel automation. But that's enough about Ecommerce for now. What I'd like to do is introduce Tiina. So for those that have not met or heard from Tiina before, Tiina Hovi is responsible for e-commerce, for digital development, and also for customer relationship marketing for Finnkino, the largest and leading cinema operator within Finland, and also part of the Odeon group across Europe. And she'll be talking to you about how to boost frequency with marketing automation. So please welcome Tiina. Thank you. It's lovely to see you.
Okay, thanks Rob, and thanks for inviting me over. It's been quite an exciting day, and I'm thrilled to be here. Now, Rob has asked me to share some of our success stories with marketing automation, but before I do that, let me just quickly introduce you to Finnkino to help you better understand the type of business challenges we deal with. Now, do we have any Finns in the audience? Excellent! So we have at least 2 people who know the brand. Now, Finnkino, until very recently, used to be part of Nordic Cinema Group, which in Sweden was represented by SFBU. Now, just as SFBU in Sweden, Finnkino is the leading cinema operator in Finland with a decent 70% market share. Recently, we were acquired by AMC Entertainment, and now we're actually part of something really big. So we're part of the biggest cinema chain globally, but the brand Finnkino in Finland is still very strong. Our spontaneous brand recognition is around 97%, so I don't think we're looking into changing that anytime soon. Now, with such a strong and dominant brand, our business challenges are not so much around new business acquisition or even retention for that matter. What we're really struggling with is staying on top of mind of consumers with the time of competitors like streaming services such as Netflix. And it's no easy task. On top of that, Finland has below average visit per capita by European standards. So in 2 years ago, the stats are quite small, but 2 years ago it was 1.6 visits per year. Nationally, for Finnkino it's a little bit higher, but still there's a lot of room for improvement there. Now, the key to success in our business is the cinema magic, the holistic experience. And we need to build an experience that you simply cannot recreate at the comfort of your home. That's why we invest heavily in state-of-the-art laser projectors and comfortable recliner seats and 360-degree sound systems. So we have top-notch facilities, but we need to get the customers to return to our cinemas again and again. We can't really compete with the price or the product itself. So we need to compete with the experience. And what I get paid for is driving up the frequency. Now, I think a great way of approaching building loyalty and engagement is by improving the customer experience by solving real customer pain points. And we are fortunate in the sense that we have a product that almost everybody are interested in, at least to some extent. I mean, who doesn't like movies, right? But the challenge is that we screen almost 200 titles annually. And with the limited cinema window, especially with the smaller titles, it's easy to miss those movies that you're really interested in. And another key pain point for our customers is related to our voucher products. Now, vouchers are essentially prepaid tickets that we sell in bundles with a lower unit price. So you could say that it's our sort of substitute for a bonus point scheme such as Bioklubben. But let me get back to that a bit later. Now, you might be thinking like, okay, so you have a great product that everybody's interested in and you need to engage with your customers. Easy. Well, when you start thinking about it, it's actually quite complex. When I first started the company 2 years ago, we were sending weekly batch emails with pretty rough segmentation around geographical location and demographics. But movie tastes are a lot more complex than women like drama or men like action movies. I mean, Netflix knows this. And then the cinema visits are often contextual. You might want to grab a chick flick with your friends after work one day and see a 3D animation with your kids the following weekend. On top of that, we have different types of customers who are triggered by different types of things. Some are price sensitive, but some are really on the lookout for the newest, trendiest thing and more into exclusive content. Now, if you want to combine all this with actual purchase data, customer lifetime value, and do that effectively with close to 1 million contacts in your database, you really need some proper machine power to help with you. So for Finnkino, data-driven marketing has allowed us to focus on the right things at the right time, focus on the customers with the best business potential. So what we can do with Ecommerce's Smart Insight is that we can create and combine segments based on purchase behavior, customer lifetime value, user preferences, anything really, and then use them dynamically across our email campaigns and social channels. Now, what's really great about this tool is that it automatically groups your customers based on their life cycle stage. And then it gives you quick insight to different key metrics around those groups. So for us, example, we can see the difference of the purchase frequency between different customer groups and target the ones with best potential. I mean, it's a lot easier to boost an annual frequency of 2 visits to 3 than that of 10 to 11. Now, another great way of engaging customers is to use those smartly crafted segments in our social channels. So what we've done is that we use those segments to steer our Facebook advertising, but we actually found even a better way in contact list building. So what we do now is that we test different incentives through Facebook lead ads to attract new opt-ins. And this is great because we can narrow it down very specifically to those customers who haven't opted in yet, so we can test out more aggressive incentives that we would dare to do on our website, for instance. And this has been working on really well, and thanks to the very specific targeting, the cost per lead has remained very reasonable. I think it's around 40 euro cents at the moment. Now, as I mentioned, we don't have a traditional bonus points type of loyalty scheme. We have the vouchers to boost frequency, and they're a really popular product in Finland. In fact, Finnkino has the most widespread voucher system in the cinema industry globally. So they're working pretty well, but the challenge is that even though they have a long validity period, it's still limited, and it's easy to forget the expiry date. So we used to struggle with customer complaints from customers who forgot to use their tickets on time. And obviously, once you had a bad experience, it wasn't likely that you would buy those vouchers again for yourself, much less as a present. So with the automated reminder programs, we managed to decrease the amount of expired tickets left unused, and thereby improve the overall customer satisfaction. And if you ask our CFO, he's not too happy about this, because from strictly economics point of view, ticket left unused is sort of free money, but I think it's the happy customers who come back and buy more. We'll manage to actually increase the voucher sales tremendously during the past couple of years. And I was a bit hesitant to see, I was sort of thinking maybe we hit a plateau, maybe we couldn't really drive more results with any reasonable amount of effort. But I still wanted to try, once we had this fancy tool in our hands, I wanted to try if we could encourage repurchasing of vouchers targeted to those customers who have just used the last set of tickets. And we just recently launched this test, and I'm quite thrilled to see that we actually have a direct conversion rate of 5% of this campaign with absolutely no incentive. So it has no further impact to our margins, minimum effort really, and I mean, it drives up the frequency pretty nicely. Even though we don't have that bonus point scheme, we still want to remember our customers on their birthdays. We want to reward our highest spenders. But added value means different things from person to another. So some of our customers are bargain hunters and they want those discount coupons. But then we have a lot of heavy users who are more into exclusive events. They appreciate the possibility to buy premiere tickets in advance, things like that. But it's, again, a matter of targeting, right? How to find the right trigger for right customer, because these behaviors don't align with any specific demographics. So the next thing, or one of the next things on our roadmap of data-driven marketing is to actually use artificial intelligence to optimize the incentive distribution across our different automation programs. So it's going to be quite interesting I'm really looking forward to see what kind of patterns we can find and how we can find or how we can utilize those findings in our different marketing activities. Now, data-driven and technology, automation, all sounds very nice and trendy, but the technology isn't free, and the automation doesn't mean any less work for you. So it really boils down to how much bang for the buck you can get, right? So I wanted to sum things up with some results we've seen after the first year of our marketing automation investment. Now, one of the first things I wanted to discover was whether the engagement with the customers actually adds value to the spend. So I was quite thrilled to find out that yes, indeed, the opted-in engaged customers do spend 30% more than the average. So that alone is encouraging enough for us to continue working this way. We've also managed to increase the share of active customers. So we managed to steer customers from the sort of more passive defecting state to more lucrative active state by 5 percentile in Q1 alone. The overall share of those customers has increased almost by a third. The annual visits per capita are also on a slow but steady increase, so that's good. And the rest is really your basic ESB metrics. But we already had pretty decent open rates and click-through rates before we started with the automation, even with the generic batch emails. I don't know, I mean, maybe it's the product or maybe it's the brand, but the figures were already pretty good. So I'm really happy with the increases. And more traffic to our website means more business, so that's really encouraging as well. But that's it for my presentation. But do you have any questions about data-driven marketing?
I think we have a quick Q&A session coming up shortly. Thank you. One of the questions, and my job has been an easy job today, to introduce Tiina, who's really talked about some interesting and innovative ideas that you've had. One of the things I'd be interested to know, to share with the audience, is you've adopted a lot of innovative technologies and new things. How has your day-to-day role as a marketer changed, or has it changed at all?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm no less busy, that's for sure, but I guess it's really, you find the right answers and you find the right information easier and quicker. So I guess you end up spending less time on admin type of things or finding the basis for your business decisions. And it frees up time for being more creative and trying out new things. And of course, the technology enables us to do things that we couldn't even imagine to do a couple of years back. So.
Interesting. And the final one for the people in the audience, there's a lot of people here that I've been speaking to that are talking about focusing on lifetime value of customers. They're looking at metrics like the frequency of purchase and how can we retain and build a model of retention. If there was one lesson that you could share with the audience, or perhaps an experience, what would that be, and what advice could you give to the people out there?
That's a tough one, but
this is why my job's the easy part.
Thanks, Rob. So we ran out of time. Okay, I guess start small. I mean, if you don't have an advanced technology to use right now, you can still do a proof of concept with more simple tools as well. That's how I managed to pull this off at Finnkino. So you can do a proof of concept around something that you're fairly solid on, around personalization, that is. And once you get the results, then it's easier to push forward and build on that. And another important thing, this is a given, but always make sure that your data is clean. Especially, and no matter how fancy the tool you use, always check the segmentation, because at the end of the day, it's humans working with the tools, and it's so easy to make small mistakes, which can have big impact. Okay, those were 3 tips already.
Absolutely.
I rest my case.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Personally, I've really enjoyed this speech, and you've delivered some great results there. It's really interesting to hear how you've really approached looking at things like lifetime value. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening.
Thanks, everyone.